It's good now.
Can you hear us now? Hello.
Do that actually. Have you there and then her there and just be I won't yell in your ear. Why do you want to be behind?
Like in choo-choo train.
There you go.
When I first turned it on,
Like a little kid, her face is like.
So this is how you're gonna have to do it, just like this. So this is where your
I have both of them up, so I can get comments too. But we have YouTube going too.
oh, I don't have YouTube.
yeah. So you're gonna have to just do it here for right now.
Oh man, I gotta stop looking in the camera so close because I'm looking rough.
Or either that, or you just need to address this here, and then keep it over here. So you just look at the camera here. I'll have this all resolved for you next time. What do you want me to do before I get up?
Nothing. Now, all right, getting ready. Give us another quick minute.
I got it, actually. Here, get up. Oh, I'm so sorry. I just realized what I can do. See, I want it to be perfect for you, sweetie. So.
Get up, Hope.
Get up, Hope.
Get up. Get out of the way.
Oh, can you dance for us?
You don't want me to dance. I'll throw it back out. I can't even put socks on. Look at this. She's got. That's about as much moves as I got. I already spilled my tea. We're spilling the tea. We haven't even started.
Whoa, hold on. Whose tea are you spilling?
I didn't want to say. We keep the tea.
All right, so that didn't work the way I wanted it to. Sorry, sweetie, I can't get it done until I have to work on it.
Okay.
Thank you.
That's on Facebook?
This is Facebook.
Okay.
It looks very nice.
This is.
Oh, I was wondering. What
I
you
was
were
like,
doing.
Carrie, I showered, I promise.
I know. I thought she was like putting her
No,
thing
no,
over
I
her
felt
nose.
the sneeze coming. I was trying to catch all my sneezes in my sweatshirt.
Oh my goodness. You're still very red. I'm still very white.
Wait, hold on. I also look.
You're also very red.
Yeah.
I'm
What's that
just-
about?
I don't. Thank you. Okay, thank you. All right, my friends, we're going to go ahead and get started on our live Q&A. Apologize for the people on Instagram. You're only going to see me, but I'm sure Hope will stick her head in periodically and cause all sorts of problems.
Is Hope here?
Actually, can you scoop in just a little bit? Oh, because you're going to get questions.
Hey, everybody. Okay, so start asking your questions because this is about as close as we've ever been.
The people on, no, we've been closer. When I had to give the demonstration of creating touch with the dog,
I shaved my legs. Thank you.
it was the only day out of the year. Okay. For Instagram, if you're on Facebook or you're on YouTube, you can see all three of us because it's a widescreen format. For Instagram, unfortunately, we don't have that option. So we're gonna have to get friendly. If you have questions for Hope and such, that's what it's gonna have to look like.
I opted not to have onion on my salad tonight.
Ah,
Just for that.
okay.
You're finally getting red, Kenna. This is not. I'm getting redder.
No, it's warm between you
Well-
two red hot mamas over here.
You're not in your
I'm
40s
not
yet,
even
so
having a hot flash yet.
Oh man,
When you're in your
I'm having
40s?
one over here,
when you're in
and
your
I got
40s,
hot tea. I don't know what's gonna happen here.
just don't be
It's not
spilling
time
the
for
tea.
yet.
Somebody says bless you.
Oh, thank you.
Wow. Oh, that was
I
for
did
your
sneeze.
sneeze.
Hello from Maine. Hello from St. Louis. Hey, we're headed to St. Louis in what, July?
Yes.
July. Yeah, we're going to be speaking at the National Service Dog Conference. You should come
Yeah.
check it out.
Come see us.
You don't have to be a trainer. You don't have to be part of the organization, but you can come hear our presentation. We're teaching the whole first day.
Purchase a ticket and come and see us. You don't have to be any part of that.
Because I'm not seeing any comments on Facebook.
Oh. Okay, live Q&A, friends. Go ahead and type out your dog training questions, and we'll do our
Jessica?
best to answer them.
Hello.
Maybe maybe if you scoot back a little bit, we can easily swap chairs. If you're going to answer the question, you can answer it on Instagram. I don't know. Is that easier? Is that easier than you leaning over for 15 minutes? Hey, girl. Hey. Is that easier?
Are you saying I'm long-winded?
No,
15
but I'm just,
minutes.
that's besides the point. It might be easier, on your spine and general ergonomics.
65% through level 1. Keep it up.
Keep
it
going up. Come on, JC, and submit your videos. Encourage your other
Yeah.
students to submit videos.
Any level 1s, start
Oh my
submitting
gosh,
your
now I have
videos.
comments. This is amazing.
You have comments?
I didn't have anything, and now I have.
Well, I have everything from Facebook and YouTube.
Okay,
Oh, we have
well, I will
YouTube on
look
there.
at Instagram.
Oh, cool.
So I have everything.
Nice.
Welcome, my friends. I actually think this is the first time we've ever gone live on YouTube, unless someone else was hosting us. This is the first time we've ever gone live on YouTube.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
When's the
When's
East Coast trip?
Maine, New Hampshire. Hey, we're working on that. We're trying to get a DC area seminar. We'll see how that goes. We're doing a private seminar in the DC area in October. So we're trying to see if we can make that into doing a private one and then also hosting a public one as well. So
I just heard of that. I'm hoping to go to that next year. Maybe I'll
drag my dog trainer, Laura Nolan, to go with me. Absolutely. We love Laura.
JC, you are correct. You do have to finish all of the level 1 course material prior to submitting. We're just giving you encouragement.
Yes, we're trying to help you get there. We get the students that feel really confident, and then they get stage fright.
Yes.
But before they have to submit their videos, we want you to just ignore that feeling, dive in, submit your videos. It's not as grueling of a process as I think people make it out to be in their heads.
On Instagram, they're asking if we're ready for questions.
Ready for questions. I'm actually going to turn the fan on because these two chicks are cooking.
Are you ready for questions? Shut up now. Answer our questions. Answer or ask. Ask your questions. We're ready.
She's always cold, and now she's complaining about. I'm not even.
Do you see this red? I'm hot. I'm just letting you know. I'm sweating.
I've got 3 spotlights on me and 2 flaming tomatoes on either
I'm
side.
so happy that you clarified Indiana because I didn't actually read anything, Tabitha, because I was like, where's it Indicana?
Indicana?
Indiana. Hello.
Hey. Hi.
Hey, hi.
I have a Mal, and are hoping you can help me better his temper towards my other Mals.
Mouths. Like how
I guess
many?
Malinois.
Ricardo, dogs don't really have tempers. If your dogs are not getting along, we've got some leadership that we need to step up on. So what I really want you to focus on is creating really clear boundaries within your household. So I would put all dogs on leashes. If you can only handle 2 dogs at a time, 2 dogs at a time out in the house. If you can only handle 1 dog, teaching them boundaries and respect of space and all those things inside your house, then do that. And create and rotate until all the dogs can start being together. Muzzle condition if the dog, if necessary, if that's going to help you get through this process. You need to make sure that all the dogs are highly fulfilled, so they're getting plenty of exercise and play outlets, not with each other, but with you. And then you're going to start walking them together, 1 handler per dog, and you're going to walk them. You probably just 2 of them at a time until you can start getting nice, calm, soft walks together. Then you're going to rest together in the house until you can get nice, long stretches of resting where they're not up each other's butts and things like that. But you really need to, once you're done with all that, really teaching calmness, you need to teach them this is how you go through doorways together. This is how you be around resources together. This is how you engage with me when there's multiple dogs. There's a lot of different layers going on in that. We have a really great Fighting Housemates course on our subscription page. So if you go to methodcanineinstitute.com, actually go to institute.methodcanine.com and just click on the section that says guided online courses. Click on that, find the course that says repairing fighting relationships, and it'll walk you step by step by step by step by step on how to put all the dogs back together.
Tabitha, guess what? That's exactly the same answer. So Tabitha has a very similar question. She has reactivity between two dogs, Boxer Boy and Girl 2. Were inseparable during their first year, but now want to kill each other. Very similar to that. A lot of times, especially if you have dogs at that particular age, they're going from that kind of sexual maturity, especially the older ones going into more of the social maturity, meaning that we're really trying to figure out where our place is in the pack. And as the leader, we want them to fall kind of below us so we don't have that same exact issue. Instead of them kind of trying to go after each other, they say, hey, you know, what do you want me to do?
The best we got, Instagram.
So our repairing fighting relationships is a fantastic course that will walk you through the start all the way to the finish of getting them together and really showing them how to follow you or whoever is handling them, because there's so many different components behind each one. So we need to build each individual dog up and then get them together and really start helping them to kind of grow. And that course will walk you through it from the beginning all the way to the very end stages where Stephanie and I have the dogs together. They're making their own decisions and things like that. So definitely check it out. Okay. And she kind of answered that a little bit on the other person's. This is cool. You can like,
I know, isn't that
pop
fun?
it up.
I might be able to, I have 2 questions over here about hackles. 2 different people, but we might be able to answer them both. So can I read both questions?
Yeah.
Yes.
Tips for lab who's hackles and growls at cats. And then the other person is saying, year-and-a-half-year-old border collie who hackles up at other dogs. Will get super submissive when she actually meets them. Has once or twice said snapped at other dogs. Very active, is around dogs a lot. So the first one is hackles up about cats, but this one is also in regards to dogs, hackles up at dogs.
All right, but I actually do think they're very separate
Different
questions. We're
questions.
dealing with hackles
Yeah.
twice, but 2 very separate questions.
Okay.
So hackles up with cats, a dog that's growling at cats, but generally very well trained otherwise. It is likely lacking exposure and understanding of cats. Might be dealing with prey drive, but it might also be insecurity. So we might honestly be dealing with some defense drive if the dog is uncertain about cats. So what I would do is I would teach your dog place command. And if your dog's very well trained otherwise, then that's great. I would have your dog spend a few hours on place and have the cat up and about, kind of walking around. I would put the cat on a leash and a harness so that it can't pester the dog, can't get in the dog's space, but they can learn how to share space together. And the dog can either learn to work through some impulse control if it is a prey drive issue, and can learn to not be so on guard around the cat if it's a defensive issue. That's where I would start, truthfully. And then I would start allowing the dog to be up a little bit more, but also on leash, not a tight leash, more like a long line where we could definitely coach, we can direct and correct, etc. And then with the cat would still also need to be on a leash so that we could coach the cat on where to go and where not to go. You can't really do long walks with a cat, which is what I would recommend with a dog. But yeah, that's where I would be with the cat. Usually by then, by allowing the dog to rest and decompress and observe and get used to the situation, and then taking it to the next stage where the dog is in the situation for long periods of time, consistently making good or bad choices that we can coach, then usually we find that we eradicate the behavior really quickly. But we need to give the dog an opportunity to find their footing and find a comfort level. Same thing with the cat before we start going into that, very one-on-one decision-making type of interchange. So giving them that opportunity is very fair. prior to doing that. And if your dog's already very well trained, you should have very clear understanding of leash language, spatial pressure, markers, all of that should be very fleshed out prior to doing anything like this so that you can coach the dog and help them become more successful around the cat. Do you want to do the dog question?
What's the dog question?
Oh, the
Year and a half border collie who's hackles at other dogs will get super submissive when she actually meets them, has once or twice said snapped at other dogs, very active, is around dogs a lot.
Is this on Instagram?
Mhm.
Oh, okay.
hey, I'm trying. Me and Carrie and I are real close over here.
With the hackles. One thing to be mindful of hackles is that hackles don't always mean aggression, right? Especially since we have submissive behavior here. One thing that we can say with the hackles is it's just something that we can pay attention to. So my own personal dog, when those hackles go up, I know that he's just really overstimulated and we're probably going to break out and play, right? So with hackles, all it's doing is it's giving us as the leaders, as the people paying attention to the scenario, it's giving us the opportunity to say, okay, what's going to come next? Well, we know we have submissive behavior. So a good thing that we could do is when the hackles come up and that submissive behavior goes, call your dog out. Use a long line, use a leash, call your dog out and show them they don't have to go up. They don't have to interact with the dog. And eventually what will start happening is that those hackles will relax and we'll actually start getting a dog that's not so appeasing or submissive to the other dogs. But just use those hackles to kind of show you and you'll eventually get to see kind of where your dog is with the interactions with other dogs. So use a leash here, call your dog out. Let's go. Hey, move away from there. You don't even have to go interact right now. And then you're going to see that the dog's going to settle. And then we can let them go interact again. If we've got that kind of submissive, appeasing behavior, call them out again. And eventually it's going to start kind of working itself out. You won't see the hackles nearly as much. And you also won't see a lot of that kind of submissive, appeasing behavior. Okay. That was fun.
Ooh, how do you feel?
I kind of out of breath.
Feeling limber now?
I might have ran a mile, I think.
All right, I'm going to pull up some questions over here.
Yeah, because my on Facebook are not updated.
We're in the show ring, gets nervous. Let's go. Wait, we got to go back up here. Hello from Massachusetts. Hello.
Massachusetts, Iowa, Australia, Indiana.
Okay, we did that one. Indiana, Iowa. I'm going over it. Does anyone know that 50 States That Rhyme song? Did you learn that in school? Indiana, Iowa, still 39 to go. Kansas and Kentucky, Louisiana, Maine. Nobody knows this? Okay.
I was homeschooled.
You were homeschooled. Sorry. Okay. Well, I learned the 50 states. I went to public school. You also didn't learn the 50 states. Okay.
No.
All right. Same colleague.
I know them, but I don't know
She
a
was in
song.
her show ring, gets nervous, and then all of a sudden heads to the gate. Did you answer that?
So, well, this is just a response. She was saying that our help,
Oh,
your info helped with my friend's
collie
and so,
in the show
yeah,
ring.
yeah.
Oh, okay. Understood. Is anyone else able to hear?
And then they said yes.
Okay, cool.
Okay, so right there. Perfect, right there.
What breeds of dogs do you as trainers personally have in your households? We currently have a pair of male mini Australian Shepherds, a female long-haired GSD Husky mix. We also have a few cats in the house. We've never had any issues with mixing dogs and cats in the same household. They get along famously together. If you're coming from dogs with decent genetics, you're coming with cats from decent genetics. Usually it's not a huge problem getting them to coexist. If you're dealing with really lousy genetics or you're dealing with poor experiences in the past, it gets more tricky. Or if you're dealing with dogs with very little to no exposure, sometimes it gets more tricky. So you're very blessed, with what you have going on right now, but I wouldn't say it's the same for everybody. And I wouldn't say that it's breed specific. I'd say it's probably a lot more genetic specific than other things, because genetics is going to play a role in it. Whether that's good genetics, bad genetics, whether the dog's really predisposed to doing the job that it was designed to do, or it's not, right? It's the run, it's the bump on the log, it's the member of the litter that really didn't have the drive it was supposed to. All of those come into play. So I personally, right now, only have my one female German Shepherd. I lost 2 dogs last year. It was another German Shepherd and another Malinois. I don't have any cats, but had I had a cat, all of my dogs would have been fine with a cat. Although Clark the Malinois probably would have got a little, you know, would have tested him a little bit if that cat really got running or screaming or something like that. But my 2 Shepherds would have been totally fine with it. Carrie has 3 Aussies. They get little spats together themselves. One of them's kind of high anxiety. The other one's kind of territorial. Those 2 male boys sometimes rub heads a little bit. And then Hope, you can talk about your dogs.
I have a Siberian Husky, German Shepherd mix as well. And then I am currently fostering a Chihuahua Italian Greyhound mix, little tiny thing. She does fine. She's a little spicy in the beginning. I set some boundaries that she needed to have, and now she's actually kind of just part of the pack with Stephanie's dog and my dog. And then I also have a cat, and they all coexist very well. As far as being able to live together. So really is the genetic portion of it. My Siberian Husky German Shepherd mix has terrible genetics. I mean, he's got a short tail, if that says anything to you.
Born with half a tail.
He was born with half of a tail, so there's not a really strong genetics background there. So it took probably the better part of half of his life. He's 9 now. I would say probably about 4 was when he finally really started to kind of understand the leadership in the household, and we weren't butting heads anymore. That was when I decided to start getting other dogs. That was when I decided that it was, good to do so. So it's really about, even if you have those poor genetics, get the dog to a good place first. I can't say this enough to everybody. Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, get your dog that has behavioral issues in a good spot before bringing another dog into the house. Yeah. And then I can bring the Chi-Chi. I had a Chihuahua pug for a while, and there was no problems because he was solid at that point, my Siberian Husky German Shepherd. So it's about leadership, and it's about kind of dealing with your genetics as you have them. But if you do it good, you'll be fine.
And with my dog Jen, she's 10 now, going on 11. I forget that she wasn't this flawless machine that she is. She is now. She's done a lot of training, but the first couple of months, maybe the first month that I had her, she was pretty aggressive with my other female. And then we got past that pretty quickly because she lives with us day in and day out. And then she was pretty aggressive with other dogs, specifically females, for quite a while after that. And then we got to the point where it was just select females and stuff like that. So it definitely takes work. It takes strong leadership. It takes very clear expectations and boundaries and instruction to help the dogs get through that. But something that can definitely be worked through. And then if your dogs just get along swimmingly from the very beginning, you are very blessed. Count yourself lucky, because I don't think a lot of people have those luxuries.
Yeah.
There is someone asking on Instagram how they can submit a question. Just type it right into the chat and we'll read it.
Yep, just type it right into chat. So we can't see your questions on our actual program here, but Carrie has Instagram up. So if you type it up, there just might be a little bit of a delay there. So just give it some time. We'll try to make sure that we answer them.
What website did you reference? Because someone's asking.
Okay, so if you're looking into our certifications, if you're looking into our online courses, which are a course that you can pay, $100 or something for, that has a bunch of tutorials to help you walk through a specific thing from start to finish, like fighting housemates or helping your dog not be so fearful, anxious, reactive, aggressive at the vet, or through grooming, or you need help developing a foundation with your dog, right? A basic foundation, or you have a new puppy, or you have crate training issues, whatever. So you can find those, or if you want to go to our subscription page, which is a whole mishmash of tutorials. You can get to all of those by going to institute.methodcanine.com. I can actually post a comment here.
I'm doing it on Insta.
Oh, I'm learning so much right now.
Okay, so I'm going to post that in a comment.
And that just is Facebook. YouTube, right? So
Yeah.
I need to post it for Instagram.
You put user in timeout. I can put myself in timeout. I'll put you in timeout. I can ban this user. Oh my golly. Yeah, institute.methodcanine.com. If you're looking for any of those courses, that's where you can go. Okay, let's pull this one up here. How do I teach my dog to stay within a certain proximity? He has decent recall, but I would prefer that he stay closer on his own. So we have a great system of developing this. So we actually go over this in our off-leash course. So it's one of those online courses that we have. But what I like to start doing is I do heavy long line work. So I'm usually working on a 15 to 20 foot long line, and I teach the dog that the end of that line is the boundary. I really don't ever want you going past the end of that line. And I teach that from the very beginning. So if they get to the end of the line, they get a nope and a bump anytime they hit the end of that line, and that's in any direction. And so when I finally start letting them drag the line, when they reach about that 15 foot, 20 foot mark, they slow down and they stay within the boundary that I've set because I've been so consistent about setting it. And people are like, well, 15 feet's not very far from you, you know, for a dog to go explore. It's 15 feet in every direction, right? So 15 feet forward, back, side to side. That's a lot of real estate for any dog to be off leash. And what we really want the dog to do is to be paying as much attention to you and the boundary as you are to the dog in the boundary. So we teach a lot of that every time they get to the end of that line, nope, bump, nope, bump, nope, bump, nope, bump. And when they stay within that boundary, good. Then you can start noticing that you can start dropping your line. And when the dog kind of trots up there, you'll see them slow back down and come back within the boundary. So once your dog becomes very well trained with that, all you have to worry about is something that were to come into the boundary, because everything else is off the table for the dog, right? The dog doesn't consider the moose over there even on the table, the dog over there even on the table, the car over there, doesn't matter because it's outside the boundary. Then you just have to coach the dog within the boundary. And that's where you would use your markers. You would say, yeah, it's okay for you to go and explore that. Or you would say, nope, that's a porcupine. We are not going in that direction. Or nope, you're not going to eat deer poop. We're going to continue moving on. You can give a let's go cue, things like that. That's how we would start training it, so that it's just a pattern from the very beginning. It's a pattern we don't ever deviate from. Becomes a really strong habit within the dog. Our own dogs are still that way. So if I'm walking and my dog is off leash, if I stop walking, if my dog knows that they're getting towards that 15-foot spot away from me, my dog slows down and looks back at me and just waits, because the boundary doesn't continue moving unless I continue moving, right? And it's just a really great pattern to start teaching from the get-go. I would teach a brand new dog from day one. I would start teaching them that from day one, that this is how everything works, and it works out awesome.
I actually did that with my foster Chihuahua. She, for the first time today, went fully off leash with my dog, and I just kind of out walking around here and everything. And she's very good about paying attention because I established that boundary very quickly. When I first got her, I really established that boundary of, hey, you have all this freedom here, but don't go outside. And now when I start to slow down, she'll just like kind of stop and look like, hey, what are we doing? It's nice.
Cute.
Great Pyrenees.
Yeah, she knows continue swing when I can let her sniff. All right, so my dog, the Great Pyrenees Rough Collie, is in some of Laura's videos. She's nervous, scared. Can you explain when I can let her go sniff? So this, Patricia is talking about, Laura is actually one of our certification students. And Laura has submitted videos for level 1. And has she submitted for level 2 yet?
No, getting ready to.
Okay, so she's getting ready to submit videos for her level 2 certification. So the certification students have to submit detailed videos of themselves working dogs through various skills that they need to show proficiency in. So this gal, Patricia, obviously has her dogs in some of the videos. So Laura is using a friend or a family member's dogs to work through her certification. So now she's asking when can she let the dog go sniff, and what body language should she look for?
One thing that we always want to be mindful of is when to reward natural curiosity, meaning when to allow the dog to explore that natural curiosity. So if I have a dog that's kind of, showing the signs of, hey, I'm kind of interested in that person, that's a lot of natural curiosity, right? So that's really helping the dog to say, great. But if I have the dog that says, I'm really kind of nervous about that person, but you can see that there's all this kind of hesitation, let it play out a little bit, but then call the dog out. Use that let's go, use your leash, show the dog to move away from that thing, because what we want to do is we want to teach them that if you start feeling overwhelmed, that moving away from the stressor is a good choice, right? It's going to create space for you. It's not going to make the dog feel trapped. So we want to reward the natural curiosity when the dog's really nose forward, their head's kind of back, and they're leaning into it. That's a good time to say, nice job, right? But if the dog starts showing kind of stiffness, or they're starting to kind of move their body back a little bit, just call them out. Use a let's go, show them to move away from the person, the dog, whatever it is that they're nervous about. Even if it's an environmental thing that they're nervous about, you can still work that same exact thing by showing the dog how to make good choices there, and to also trust you as the handler. Next.
Okay.
And if we can answer that, we're
I
gonna
know that this question, man, if you have a solid answer to that.
Yeah,
I have a double-coated Shepherd Husky mix, and I'm looking for tips on how to acclimate him to summer weather.
my Shepherd Husky just kind of came that way. He wants to lay in the sun all day, every day.
My Shepherd, it can be 110 degrees outside, and she'll lay on the hot concrete for an hour.
Yeah.
And it won't bother her. My other female German Shepherd, when it was 32 degrees and sunny, she was looking for the shade. Couldn't handle anything. My Malinois couldn't handle anything. I mean, if you have a tip or a trick, I'd love to know it. I'd love to know it, because I haven't had to worry about it for a long time. But I may or may not be looking at adopting another dog here very soon. I got my eyeballs set on a pretty cute pup. And I'm getting the vibe that she is not a hot dog at all. Or she is a hot dog and needs a whole lot of... So if you have a magic recipe, friends, go ahead and let us know. I would love to chat about that, but I have not found anything.
Hoses, swimming, a swimming pool,
Lumen,
water.
Lumen did all of that.
I
Lumen
know.
did all that. It certainly didn't make her any more tolerant of the heat. It might have cooled her down, but she certainly wasn't more tolerant of the heat. Okay, Gronk. Let's pull this up.
Yes, because
Gronk
Gronk was last week.
Please explain to my mom again how to purchase and view the video-only library only. She doesn't want to sign up for the course at this time. P.S. Thanks for all your help and guidance. Okay.
Stephanie added that.
What?
You added the institute.
Yes. Okay. I'm going to help you out here. One, I'm going to tell you right now, we're actually going to be running a huge sale starting... When would they actually be able to get the video only?
That was my... We're running a sale? Why are we
Wait,
getting redder?
Thursday. So starting Thursday, we're running a huge sale, 50% off sale. So you might want to wait till Thursday. Okay. So that might help you out. Fun news. We're getting an entirely new website on Wednesday. Okay. So me telling you exactly how
Do we believe you?
how to get, yes, I believe, no, believe me on this. Okay.
Aurora, are you on here? Did you
Aurora?
agree to this?
Agree to this. We're getting a whole new website. Aurora is our marketing manager, and she's in charge of website design. She does an amazing job.
She's been working so hard.
Yes, she's been working super hard on a whole new website for us. You will be able to go to institute.methodcanine.com, click on the certifications, and you will be able to go through those to find the video only options. Okay, you'll be able to just click on the certifications and you'll be able to find the video only. Remember that anytime that you're ready to upgrade to the actual certification, if you choose to do that, you can upgrade at any time. You just need to email us at info@methodcanineinstitute.com, and you'll just have to pay the difference. Okay, and then we'll get you set up on the certification. So anybody can do that as a bit of a stepping stone. Okay, hopefully that helps you.
One thing that I do want to point out is that this is coming. One thing I want to point out is that coming from a person who had a behavioral dog, a lot of times it takes us educating ourselves so much so that we become dog trainers. I mean, I had to become a dog trainer in order to help my Husky Shepherd mix through his life. I mean, he just struggled that much. So don't think that the certifications are there for you to start a business or for you to train other people's dogs. They are there for you to be able to train your own personal dog, especially if you have a behavioral dog, with our help. So the video only is fantastic. I'm not trying to kind of move you away from that, but I am letting you know that outside of these lives that we do on Monday nights, there's a lot of coaching involved in those courses. So just keep that in mind, okay?
Anything on your side, Carrie?
Somebody says, I'm becoming a better dog trainer. Teddy is a Cane Corso mix.
Cool.
Very good.
That's awesome.
I'm going to continue with this. Jessica, Grunk's mom, did go to Method Canine website, clicked on the videos, but courses popped up. Okay. When you, that's why part of why we're getting a whole new website. But when you go there and you click on the courses, you actually have to click the buy now button. And then it takes you to all of the available purchase options. Then you could say, okay, I want video only. I don't want the actual certification. So if you click buy now, you can see the video only options that are available. It won't actually charge you anything just by hitting buy now. But if you do purchase this during the sale, which is coming up soon, that will be much clearer and much easier on the new website.
Yeah, and that's actually good to know because I add a lot of things to carts. And if I had to like purchase everything that I added to a cart, I don't.
Danger zone.
Yeah, so that it is kind of like adding something to your cart, but you don't have to purchase it right away.
So yeah, right now it says view purchase options, and then that's when you can scroll through.
Is that only on the master though? Or is that under each certification?
That's under each one.
Okay.
Bundles.
So it says view purchase options. Jessica.
And
Excuse
then
me.
you just
For
scroll
now.
past the certification.
Go all the way past the certifications and go down to the video only options. And that's,
Until Wednesday.
that's where it is right now until Wednesday. Maybe even tomorrow, because Aurora's, she's like a speed demon. She has some kind of magic powers
Aurora, are you on here? I'm trying to stand up.
that we don't have. She has like superpowers that we don't have.
I don't know. She's been working on that so hard. I think her
I don't know
eyeballs
what's
are starting to fall out.
I know.
Jim Helminski says, frankly, I always loved my dog, but I didn't like her until about age 18 months.
You know what? You know what, Jim? This is such a true statement. I have loved Jen from day one, but I would say it's only in the last year or two that I have liked Jen.
Yes.
Jen is the most pestering, annoying little sister dog I have ever had. And even at 10 and 11 years old, she just pesters. She just pesters everybody. Like she just can't help herself. But it's slowed down just enough that now she is likable when she does it. It's like cute when she does it rather than annoying. So I totally get that. Yes, some dogs are like that. You love them, but sometimes it takes a little while to like them.
Is there anything on that side?
Well, yeah, it logged out, but there was a question I caught right before I lost them, the comments.
Okay.
What is the difference between counter conditioning and desensitizing? Or desensitizing?
So typically counter conditioning is using a high value reward to change the dog's perception of a specific event. Desensitization is usually just extended exposure to specific stimuli. So desensitization doesn't often usually have a marker with a high value reward involved. That would typically be a counter conditioning example. Desensitization would be more along the exposure lines. So we would say that when we're trying to work with a dog to get them better with their nails being trimmed or their ears or their teeth being brushed or brushing or bathing or something like that, to us, that's a counter conditioning. If I have a dog that's just generally uncomfortable or reactive out in public and we spend long hours in public resting, working on massage, I would consider that to be a desensitization type process.
Tiffany says, where are we at? Is female on female aggression more common than other types? You have females, I have males.
Yeah. I don't think so.
No.
Because we deal with aggression cases constantly. That's pretty much all we do. I would say that, and this probably goes into actually the female aggression. I would say there's three types. I would say fear aggression and territorial aggression are probably the most common that we see. And I would say female on female is likely a territorial issue. And then fear is very common as well. You can get a lot of aggression responses, things like that. And then territorial is usually the one that's more difficult to fix, and usually the one that's more dangerous. And I would say that a female on female aggression is probably playing off of that territorial vibe, right? They want control and things like that. Third type of aggression that happens very often is frustration. We get a lot of dogs that are very frustrated, very pent up, and they just lash out, and then it starts to become a habit. Then it becomes a habit they enjoy because they're so frustrated and so pent up. They get no, outlets for a lot of that angst and that fight and that energy, that they wind up developing the habit of acting aggressively or even attacking. And once that becomes a habit, they actually enjoy it. It's the most exciting part of their day. So when the doorbell goes off, I'm going to go kill my brother, right? So that can become a pattern. And then I guess there is another subset. Anxieties can start to become aggression over time. Usually it doesn't start out as aggression, but eventually the dog's nervous system, it can't take anymore. So every little thing makes it snap. You can get that too, but I would say it's a little bit more on the back burner. It's usually for dogs that are very high anxiety, that have lived high anxiety for many years. Then we get aggression there. But I would say maybe all three of those are the most common, is the fear, the frustration, territorial. So I wouldn't say necessarily female on female is the most common. It has a deeper root cause, and female on female, I would say 9 times out of 10 is probably territorial.
Jim says, one of the most often questions I am asked, my dog is always reactive when someone comes to the door, to include Amazon deliveries. How do you train to stop the reactivity? A leash. It's always that answer. Hope's answer, a leash. A couple of different things, right? One thing that we always want to think to ourselves is, one, before training anything, give your dog a nice, solid exercise outlet. Do a fantastic play game, bike with the dog, do something like that. And we want to actually, very similar to what Stephanie said, almost desensitize them to the doorbell. So we can do this in small ways at first. You can do a couple of different things. A lot of people like to implement the place command. It's beneficial in its own way, because we can have a dog that's more stationary while we're working through things. However, I want you to be very mindful when the dog's off of place, they won't necessarily know what to do, right? So on place, they say, okay, well, within this boundary, we're not barking, we're not doing any of that. That comes through us coaching, but it really doesn't teach the dog how to experience real life scenarios, which is what? Our dog's hanging out. Murph's in the facility. If the Amazon guy comes to the front door, he goes, "Buh." And I go, hey, go away. You don't need to worry about that, right? But that had to be taught. So one thing that we want to be mindful of is showing the dog exactly what we want from them. So the very first thing that we do is we show the dogs not to hover in doorways or around windows. We can use that using our leash. Dog goes over towards the doorway. When there's nothing going on, hey, let's go. We're not doing that. Go away from the door, right? Use that leash, move them away from there. And we're going to start showing the dogs we don't need to be anywhere near the windows and the doors throughout the day, okay? Then when we start to have people come to the doors and knock on the windows and on the door, or ring the doorbell, we're going to work that same exercise. We want to show the dog that when we're in an escalated state of mind, we're still doing exactly the same thing that we were doing even when nothing was happening. So a lot of times dogs spend so much time in the windows and the doors staring out all day, and they say, hey, very similar to kind of what she said about the dog starting to learn to enjoy it. They say, Well, nothing happens all day. And then the Amazon delivery guy comes and I get to lose my mind and bark and do all this, expel all this energy. And it's kind of exciting, right? So we want to take all of that away by using our leash, showing the dogs move away from the windows and the doors when there's nothing happening. And then exactly the same thing when something is happening, whether it's a delivery, whether it's guests coming over. When guests come over to visit me and my dog goes toward the door, no, let's go, move away from there. And then I go over, I greet my guest, dog starts to come towards me. No, go away. We don't want none of that, right? And by starting to show the dog that you actually control those areas of the house where they feel like they have a lot of control over by staring out them all day, it actually starts to lessen that reactivity, okay? So implement your leash, use that let's go, start showing the dogs to move away, but make sure that you give them a really solid exercise outlet so they're more mentally prepared for the learning aspect of it. Oh, sorry. Hey, thanks for sliding that over. I didn't really want to
Yeah.
I have a question over here on Instagram.
Okay. Instagram. Instagram question.
What's the best thing for a dog that wants to eat kangaroos?
Wants to eat kangaroos. You know what? This isn't the strangest question we've had. We actually had a dog who came from Puerto Rico. The whole purpose of that dog's board and train was to get it to stop trying to attack the anaconda that lived in their commune. So getting a dog to stop eating kangaroos, it's no different than to get a dog to stop going after deer or a moose or a bird or anything like that. Get them out there on that long line. Teach them to respect the end of that long line. I was talking about this with the boundary before. So you're going to practice where there is nothing that's triggering, right? In the beginning, getting out on that long line. So every time that dog gets to the end of the long line, nope. Bump that long line and say, let's go. Teach them how to get back within that boundary. You're going a different direction now. If they try to go towards the end of that long line, nope, bump, let's go. Keep them in that boundary and do it every single time you are out. Do it twice a day. Do it 5 times a day. Get out there for 5 hours doing it over and over and over again. So it becomes such a habit that the dog isn't trying to go past that boundary, right? Then if the kangaroo is outside that boundary, you can slowly work up to that. So you can start working against the birds and the squirrels. You can start working against the cars that are moving fast. You can start working against the kids that are on the bikes. Then you can start working up to that end all be all, which is going to be the kangaroo, and teaching the exact same concept. Eventually you'll be able to drop your line and the dog will respect that boundary and remain coachable and calm within that boundary. So that's the first step that I would start doing. If you want to get your dog, fully off leash reliable, fully bomb-proof recall, fully capable of staying within that boundary and remaining calm, we have an off-leash course available. So if you go to institute.methodcanine.com, click on the guided online courses and check the course that says e-collar for off-leash reliability, it'll teach you all that. You'll have a dog that's golden, can walk past kangaroos or any other animal that you might come across, truthfully, or any other distraction you might come across. You'll be able to coach your dog through all of it.
Is it like the kangaroos that are like jacked up
The ones
and they're
that
ready to fight too?
Oh,
Because
man.
my dog's going to try to take that kangaroo out as well.
There's more comments coming from that now. So what you've described is being done, and his drive to get the kangaroos is huge.
Yeah. Your boundaries are not firm enough. So it works for all dogs. We've shown it hundreds, thousands and thousands of times with dogs clear across the spectrum with drives through the roof. It works for all of them. So check out the course, go through the whole thing, learn how to adjust your boundaries and learn how to give more clear direction and correction, so that the dog learns how to be calm, cool, collected and enjoy the freedom that they have without being overstimulated by the environment.
Give a solid exercise outlet too.
Yeah.
Prior to going out and working on this, get that dog nice and tired, fulfilled, and then you're going to have a little bit more success as well as really making sure those boundaries are really solid.
Mm-hmm. And if your dog's got high prey drive, try to engage in exercise outlets that fulfill that. Yeah. Strong tug games, flirt pull games, and teach the dog how to control that as well. That's also going to help teach them how to switch drives at the highest arousal point. You can see videos on that on our subscription page. So if you go to institute.methodcanine.com, click on the subscription page, specifically focus on the videos on prey drive and the tug videos inside there. It can teach you how to do all of that as well.
I have a 1.5-year-old Dutch Shepherd, a foster, unknown past, half of his ears bit off. It took about 2 weeks to warm up to me. When people come into the house, he is territorial, lunges, air snaps, etc. I have been working on place with him, but only with food motivation, so that place and motivation goes out the window when he goes into fear mode. Any tips to get him used to people coming in the house? One thing that we want to be mindful of is that it took 2 weeks for this dog to get kind of used to you. So getting out and really showing the dog that you know how to control a lot of scenarios, meaning that if we go out and we work heavily on long line work, I would do it in your front yard, I would do it up and down your street, really showing that dog that you know how to handle a lot of factors when we have him out and we're out moving with him, coaching him to follow you, coaching him on how to respond to you through the leash, around all of those factors. Then when you bring the dog in the house and you have people coming over, you're going to do the same thing. You're going to start showing some of that work through that long line, very similar to the reactivity at the windows and the doors or people delivering packages. We're going to start showing the dog that, one, we're not hanging out in windows and doors all day. And in fact, we're going to start to claim those ourselves, because then when the dog starts to lose their mind over somebody coming into your house, you've already patterned and shown the dog, one, I handle all of those things while we're out working on the long line. Follow me, move with me, start to learn to trust me. Then when we're inside the house where he may have a territorial component, we're going to start claiming the windows and the doors by showing him that you don't have access to them. Then when your guests come over and he starts to try to lose his mind, we're going to start using that long line work that we've been patterning out in our front yard, up and down the block, what have you. We're going to start using that relationship, that trust, that those boundaries that we've been coaching on with that particular dog, right? If you feel that the dog does have the potential of biting, it would be suggested to muzzle condition the dog. So that way we know that we can safely put the dog in the scenario and still be able to coach, because eventually we would actually want to get to the point where we are allowing the dog to maybe show some natural curiosity, but I want to get the dog to a more neutral state of mind. So I would suggest muzzle conditioning, so I can keep putting that dog in that scenario while coaching and knowing that I can, we call it fail safely. If something were to happen, say one of your guests were to get in close proximity or something like that, we can fail safely and yet keep the dog in the same scenario while coaching. So I would look on our website,
Institute.methodk9.com.
Institute.methodk9.com. I would go to the subscription page and I would focus really heavily on the drive section. It's going to talk to you a lot about the territorial. It's going to talk to you about the fear. It's going to talk to you about developing pack drive, which is that long line work that we're talking about. The subscription is what?
12 bucks a month. Yep.
Yeah, it's 12 bucks a month. So I would hop on there and I would really look at that, and I would follow some of the case studies that are on there. Particularly Blue is on there. Blue has a lot of this kind of same stuff, and it will actually be Stephanie working Blue through the beginning stages all the way to the end stages on this. So I would absolutely suggest that you do that. It's going to give you as much information as possible for the littlest amount of money. Okay. It's going to help you a lot. Okay.
All right, my friends, if you're watching on Instagram, just know that we can still see your questions. We can't pull them up like we have been on for the folks viewing on YouTube or Facebook. But we can still see your questions. Carrie is still reading them online. So go ahead and ask your questions. We'll make sure that we try to answer them. Okay, let's see here. Ghost Rider, is a board and train facility or one-on-one training best for a 1-year-old hound, lab, or pit mix with significant fear and anxiety? What should I look for in a trainer? It's just gonna vary. I would say if you're looking into a board and train program, one thing that you need to look for is how extensively are they going to work with you as the handler? How much education are they going to give you? So if they say, well, we're going to bring you in for a 1 hour session in the middle, and we're going to give you a 1 hour session before you go home, and that's it, I would definitely be looking somewhere else. So our clients go through, they have how many hours of footage?
I don't know hours, but I know it's 176 videos.
They have 176 videos. I think it's probably like 60 hours,
Yeah.
60 hours worth of educational footage that they have to study while their dog is here in board and train. So they have to be going through all that. And prior to board and train, actually they do 2 to 3 months worth of study as well and training as well. And usually private sessions or coaching with us before the dog even comes in to make sure that the dog can be fully muzzle conditioned, can be fully crate conditioned prior to coming in. Then they have all of those additional videos that they watch during it. And then they have a 4 to 6 hour go home session with us. And then they have multiple follow-up sessions with us afterwards. So really we've got to create the owner. We have to turn the owner into a trainer, right? And that's how much education is going to be required. If you don't feel like you're going to get that from a board and train program, it's really not worth it. Because while they might be able to achieve results, you maintaining results without the same level of skill probably won't last super long, especially if the dog has issues that are deep-seated. So if you can find a program that's very in-depth like that, I don't know where you're located, but we have excellent master trainers through the Method Canine Institute. We've got Sierra in Washington State. We have Elisa in Southern California. We have Aaron in Iowa City. And we have
Brittany. Yeah.
we have Leanne in Kansas, and we have Brittany, who's also
Leanne's in the DC area.
oh, Leanne now has moved. I'm sorry, Leanne is in the Washington D.C. area, and then Brittany is also in Washington State.
Yeah, so Sierra is a lower, like south, and Brittany is
Yeah.
more north. So.
Closer to us. All of their board and train programs are going to be exactly as I described because they're our master certified trainers. So if you go to institute.methodcanine.com, you can click where it says find a Method Canine trainer near me. You can click on that. You can see all of our trainers. I would highly recommend going for the master trainers because you're dealing with behavioral issues. Try to find those master trainers and sign up for their board and train programs, and you're going to get the best solid delivery on what it is that you're looking for. Outside of that, you might just want to go through private sessions and really gain the knowledge that you might need. If you wanted to work with us personally here at Method Canine, we offer a program called Train the Owner. So this is a play on our Train the Trainer programs. You actually come here for an entire week. We work with you for 40 hours with your dog, training from start to finish, but you're training your dog and we're coaching you through the whole process. And then we let you go home, we work on things, and then we have you come back for another whole week. It could be 6 months later, a year later, right? Where we're gonna dive even deeper and we're gonna do it for another 40 hours. We're essentially training you to become a dog trainer, but we do offer that service for dog owners. We've got a few of them coming up in April, and then when is our next round?
July
July.
20th. Do you want the dates?
No, I was
Oh.
just looking at figured of the months.
July, and then I think September.
We're doing April, July, and September for those programs. So if you want to check those out, you can find those on our website as well, under the in-person services. So that hopefully that answers your question. That's kind of how I would deal with things. If I don't feel like the education to the owner is very, very heavy, I almost to the point where people are getting a little upset with how much homework they have to do at home. We had one client that said, "You've given us too much. You're trying to make us professional trainers and we're not that." And we looked at them and we said, "But you need to become that in order to handle the dogs that you have." So we actually had somebody who actually got upset with us because we had so much client education. So that's really, really what you're looking for when you want to sign up for any type of board and train program.
Julia says this looks amazing.
Thanks, sweetie. That's all your hard work.
Sweetie.
Thanks, sweetie. Any thoughts on how easy, difficult Greater Swiss Mountain Dogs are to train?
I think they're the coolest dogs.
They are cool.
Oh my goodness.
Swissies are cool, but they're bred to be more on the independent side. It's not stubborn.
I see.
Not stubborn.
Oh my
There-
gosh, I thought you said slobbery.
No,
Oh.
I said,
Okay, not necessarily stubborn.
yeah.
But their motivations are highly different than everyone wants to think. Oh, a lab is easy to train.
Yeah.
A golden is easy to train. A mal is easy to train. A shepherd is easy to train. Their motivations are different, right? A Swissie's going to have a very different motivation set than your other type of dog. They're not going to be as handler centric. Definitely not. They're going to be significantly more independent. So territory is valuable to them. You know, a rest can be space. Like all of these things are more motivating to them than toys, than things like that. So harder in the sense that getting them motivated with traditional methods is going to be harder, but easier in the sense in a lot of ways is that you're not going to have to combat them wanting to race up on every person and every dog. Typically, so you're going to get friendly ones too, but typically a little bit more aloof, a little bit more independent, things like that, which I personally like in a dog. I like an independent dog. I don't want them. You're also going to sidestep probably issues like separation anxiety and things like that. I don't want clingy dogs. I can't stand clingy dogs. I want a dog that's independent. They can go do their own thing, or they can lay at my feet, right? Which a Swissie can give you that. But you're also going to have to be a very clear leader, very effective boundaries, very clear communication, and you're going to have to satisfy them in ways that are more specific to a Swissie than it would be to a golden retriever or a lab or something like that, right? They're probably not going to be out there playing with the flirt pole with you. They're probably not going to be doing that. So you're probably going to be doing like a lot of long line work, a lot of exploration where you're showing them, yes, you can go track here and you can go check out the territory here, but you can't over here. And you're going to be doing a lot of that and almost rewarding them with environmental rewards as opposed to toys and food and stuff like that. They're not going to be as motivated for that kind of stuff. So environmental rewards are really valuable for that. So if you can tap into that and you enjoy a dog that can be a little bit independent, that isn't up your butt all day, a Swissie might be a great fit. If that doesn't sound like that great for you, you really want a dog that's going to be in tune with you, looking to you, doing all of those things, okay, you might want to go with a little bit of a different breed, right? Neither one is good or bad, right? We just have to know how to deal with them. And if you have very strong, clear leadership and you have a really good relationship with the dog, they'll naturally be attentive to you. It just won't be clingy like some other dogs might become. For heat,
Instagram
mine
is
doesn't.
blowing up right now.
That's the one
Instagram.
that's the
Yeah. Okay, well, we'll do
Trisha Kelly.
we'll do an Instagram question.
Kelty.
Hi from Canada. So our Aussie Doodle over the last 7 months has now developed a habit of growling at me. He's not showing teeth, but he will growl, and I can't get, and it can get louder. But he walks towards me as if he's scared and will give me his paw as if he wants to apologize, but growls as do me. If I move away, he will follow and growl and give me his paw. What do I do?
It's amazing.
Yeah, you've got a dog who's communicating in a little bit of an odd way.
Yeah.
So there are dogs like this. Actually, Rotties are notorious for this. There are dogs out there who exhibit kind of weird signals to our perception, weird signals that don't always mean what we think they mean. The fact that he's giving you his paw, to me, is a little bit of an appeasement behavior. So this growl, I can't answer this perfectly for you. This is a dog that's a little bit more complex that I would have more questions for. But it almost sounds like the dog is confusing what growling actually means and utilizing it in an appeasement type of fashion. Because the paw is leaning me in that direction, especially being an Aussie Doodle. However, I don't know what the body language looks like. So the paw could almost be a demand, right? So you could get a dog that's pushing you to do something, right? That's using that growl to get you to move in some way, to get you to play with me, to get you to pet me, to get you to move off of the couch, right? And the paw could also be part of that demand. So it's going to depend on the body language. Do we have real submissive body language accompanied by maybe belly showing, lip licking, any of those things, because that might point me in the appeasement behavior? Or do we have kind of more forward body language and things like that? What I would suggest to you is, I'm not going to give you a lot of advice right now on what to do, what not to do, because I don't know exactly what goes on with the dog. I'd have to know a lot more about your relationship and what the body language looks like. If you really want to get to the root of that and start working through it, I'd highly suggest you schedule a private session with us so that we can deep dive into your specific scenario and understand your household and your dog, because it is a little bit of an odd presentation. It's not unheard of, but it's an odd presentation. And we need to understand what all the other factors are to know what that presentation is and what the dog's trying to say to you.
She says yes, submissive.
Yes, submissive. So this might be appeasement behavior. It honestly is a dog that's not utilizing the growl the way that we would traditionally understand it, but probably in the dog's mind, a little bit of appeasement behavior, maybe discomfort, right? I would still schedule a private session with us so that we can effectively coach you, because there's about 101 other questions I would ask you before giving you advice in that situation. The last thing I want to do is give you advice over the internet and then you say, Steph, I got bit last night because I did what you said, right? We want to make sure that we give you the safest, most effective advice that we can. So to schedule a private session with us, go to methodcanine.com, scroll down to the bottom where it says contact us. Fill out that contact form and we can get you scheduled for a private session, either here in our facility if you're local, or we can do it via Zoom and get you where you need to be. So anywhere in the world, doesn't matter, we can help you, okay?
Any others over there?
You can go ahead. I mean, there's probably some that are
This one you want to answer?
come in later.
I have a 18-month-old foster dog that potties in the house even when we are home. I'm trying to teach her to ring a bell at the door, but so far no luck. She goes to the door, but if we don't see her, she just goes in the house. Any advice on how to get her to ring the bells when she needs to go out? I don't have advice on that because I'm going to actually suggest that you don't do that. The reason behind it is doorbells or bells that they hit with their paw and things like that can actually run the risk of a couple of different things. One, we can have a dog that starts to ring the bells when they want to go outside and then they're still not pottying, right? They just say, well, I want to go outside and goof around and sniff and run the fence lines and do all these different things. Or we can have a second one, which is where the dog starts to get really demanding about other things throughout their life. They say, hey, if I do this, you do this. I'm going to try this and do this, right? So we run the risk of a dog becoming very demanding in two very different areas. And with the pottying aspect of it, I would actually suggest putting your dog on a line or going at least out with your dog if you have a fenced-in yard and making sure that they actually fully eliminate. So I had a client come to me, they were training and doing all this different stuff, and they were letting their dog out in the dog run and to go to the bathroom. They would bring the dog in, dog would be fine for the better part of a half an hour or so, and then the dog would go in the corner and pee. And they thought by letting the dog out, the dog was going to go potty. Well, the dog was actually out there just kind of running back and forth in the dog run and never was fully eliminating, right? And so the dog was coming in and saying, hey, a lot of times if dogs don't eliminate outside, we could have a couple of different things. They're out there kind of playing around again, running the fence lines, getting distracted, or we can even have a dog that's a little bit nervous. And so they say, I am out here by myself. There's a lot of stuff going on. So if you especially live in a residential area where there's a lot of noise or people on the other side of the fence or things like that, a lot of times dogs get nervous and they don't want to go out there and try to go to the bathroom because they would have to let their defenses down, right? So they say, I'm not going to do that out here. I'm going to wait till we go inside where I'm more comfortable and I feel a little bit safer. So I would actually go out with your dog, supervise your dog. If they do not eliminate while they are outside, meaning going poop or pee, depending on what you're looking for, I would actually bring them in and I would either put a leash on them and kind of tether them to you, keep an eye on them, and then in a little while, half hour or so, take them out almost like we're doing some potty training, right? We've got this is a foster dog, so it doesn't necessarily know exactly what we're looking for. So I would actually almost essentially treat it very similarly to as if I was potty training the dog. But that's my suggestion. bring the dog in, half an hour, they go back out. We're going to supervise them again. And we're going to kind of get them on that routine of when we go out, we're looking for you to go to the bathroom. We can play, we can do all of that at other times. But when we're out there, we can actually even start to give a cue for going to the bathroom. We can start. So my dog, whenever I take him out, even my little foster, Chi-Chi, I call her, they know to go potty as soon as I say go potty. So I let them out and they both run out to the yard and they're sniffing and I say, hey, go potty. And both of them, you can see them separate. They go potty really quick and then they're right back to sniffing. I had to coach that. I had to teach that by going out, supervising and putting that on cue. Okay. So that would be my suggestion. I think that's going to help start to give the dog the kind of mindset that when we go out, this is what we're looking to do, okay? By putting them on that leash, going out, supervising them, making sure that they go. If they don't go, they come in, they hang out with us, or you can even put them in a crate if you've got stuff to do. But what we want to do is we want to stop them from practicing going in the house, whether it's by the door, under the table, in a bedroom, right? It's all the same thing. We want to stop them from practicing that by supervising them and making sure that they go. And if they don't, they come in, they hang out with us, they go in a crate, and then I'm going to let them out again until they can start piecing together exactly what we're looking for. Okay? Hopefully that helps there, Trisha.
My Dutch Shepherd is Tuesday. Your methods are awesome. Thank you very much.
Yeah. I love Dutch Shepherds.
I love Dutchies.
I think they're so cool.
They're very cool.
Yeah.
I actually like Dutchies more than Mals.
Yeah.
Don't tell the internet I said that. Oh my goodness. Or we're going to have like a huge
Broken.
debate. And we're going to break the
Broken
internet saying I
internet.
like Dutchies more than Mals. But okay.
Anything on
What do we got on Instagram?
Oh, we have thoughts on training an almost 4-year-old reactive pity. Tried to do one-on-one training earlier as a pup, but I don't know it was the right approach. Is it too late to make behavioral changes?
Oh, definitely not.
No.
4, definitely not.
What's the oldest dog? We had a.
Well, no. What was it? Lulabelle?
yes.
Lulabelle. She was like 16. She didn't count.
I was going to say
Shouldn't count.
14,
But
I thought 14.
We've
but-
had plenty of 12, 13-year-old dogs come in for board and train that have been fully rehab, fully trained. So they're definitely not past the learning and changing point. A 4-year-old dog is probably like a 25, 30-year-old person, 25, 30-year-old person. Plenty capable of learning new things, plenty capable of changing bad habits, starting new habits, plenty capable. So yes, find the training program that you love, get signed up, be consistent. You can absolutely make great changes with that dog.
I don't know. It's still. This is Instagram that just popped up.
Huh?
It's still there though. Yeah, I don't know.
What are we talking about?
Do we want another question from Instagram?
Yeah.
No, because Instagram's not even running. So we'll go with
Oh,
something
it's
else.
not running?
No,
Well, it just popped up the video.
we're having trouble playing your video.
Oh.
Just refresh the page.
What would be the difference between fear, aggression, and fear reactivity? This is like Stephanie's favorite topic.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you're probably gonna have people that disagree with me. It's no different. There's gonna be people out there who disagree that water is wet. Fear reactivity to me is a dog that's willing to talk the talk. Fear aggression to me is a dog that's willing to walk the walk. So if you have a dog that's
I love
actually
that.
willing to put teeth on other dogs, to put teeth on people, to inflict harm, doesn't matter that it's out of fear. If they're willing to inflict harm, that's aggression to me. That's it. That's the definition of aggression, right? To aggress, whether you're cornered or whatever, you're aggressing. You're not retreating, or freezing. You're aggressing. A dog that's reactive might aggress in the sense that it's moving forward, but when it gets to you, it's not willing to do harm, right? To me, that's a reactive dog, right? So a dog that's actually willing to inflict harm is aggressive. A dog that's talks like they're willing to inflict harm, but when they actually get presented with the opportunity that they don't, that's a dog that's reactive, not aggressive. Is your computer having issues?
Well, but the problem is every time that happens, I lose the comments. But there
Oh.
was a comment, and maybe they could re-comment. It was about having wild, crazy kids and the dog being reactive. And
You lost all the comments?
yeah, when it logs me up, yeah.
Wow.
Um,
Well, maybe they'll come back.
Yeah,
Maybe they'll
so-
eventually repopulate.
if you have had a question on Instagram and it hasn't been answered, can you just retype it?
Oh, man.
That's a bummer.
It was
right,
it was
you do
only
that.
a couple, so
Okay, so Patricia says, can you use place for their calm down spot? Then they can go visit people, dogs that come in the house. You can, yeah. Again, one thing that we want to be very mindful of is that place doesn't necessarily coach our dogs on what to do in real life scenarios. So we can utilize it to start the training of a calm mindset. So whether you're working on your dog holding place while your guests come over, you're working on your dog holding place while you're going in and out bringing groceries in, yes, we can use it. It is something that is almost an extension of us to help our dog learn how to settle without us being right there helping them, right? We still need to coach, we still need to do that. But when our dog is off of place, they say, I know what to do when I'm on this square bed, when people come over, when dogs come over, when, whatever happens, I know what to do here. But as soon as we let our dog up, they say, I don't really know what to do. I don't know if I should interact with the guests nicely, if I should jump all over them, I should lose my mind. I don't know if I should bark at the doorbell. I don't know what I should do, right? So in your beginning, yes, we can use that, but I want you to not stay there. I want you to get the dog up, start teaching the dog. So again, if somebody rings my doorbell and both of my dogs get up, well, the cat's worse, so I'm going to not lie, but both the dogs get up and they say, hey, what's happening at the door? Hey, let's go. We're not going over there. That's me. I'm answering it, right? So we want to teach the dogs what to do when they're up and they're free. Anyway, we want to teach the dogs what to do when they're up and they're able to make choices, because that's real life. Real life scenarios say when somebody rings the doorbell and the dog's up moving around the house, they were chewing on a bone, they were playing, and they say, hey, what's that? They know exactly what we expect of them. But when they're only held to a certain standard while on place, and then we let them off of the place bed, they go, now I don't know what to do, right? So make sure that you're showing them in both scenarios. This is what it looks like for my guests to come over and you to hold place, and you're just going to stay there till you settle down. But I want you to also know what it's like to be up free in the house. So that way, when somebody delivers a package or the neighbor comes up, out of nowhere, the dog also knows how to handle that and respond to you as the handler in your coaching and how to appropriately engage with your guests. Okay.
Go to that next question. This is a really good follow-up to this.
Okay. Hold on one sec. Okay.
Okay, so you're going to get a lot of people with different answers to this question.
Mm-hmm.
And depending on their answer, I can almost always tell what stage of their career that they were in. If you had asked me this in the very, very early stages of my career, the first couple of years, I would have told you obedience. If you had asked me in the next couple of years, I would have told you confidence building by having them jump up on different surfaces and get used to noises and things like that, right? If you asked me today, I would say the number one confidence booster is to let your dog make choices, okay? So any environment that your dog is struggling in, loosen up on them. Let them make choices within that environment. And you're gonna start coaching. This is a good choice. This is not such a good choice. This is a good choice. This is not such a good choice. This is a good choice. This is not such a good choice. Okay. I would start coaching in those environments like crazy. So everybody, the dog wants to be fear reactive towards the doorbell, jumping off of her question. You're going to be up. You're going to be up making choices, and I'm going to coach you how to do this. I'm going to coach you how to walk through doorways with me. I'm going to coach you how to handle guests coming over. I'm not going to put you in a crate. I'm not going to put you in the backyard. I'm not going to put you on your place bed. I'm going to teach you what choices are available to you here, okay? I'm going to spend a ton of time doing that. And the second thing that I'm going to do once I'm just put it out till the dog's blue in the face, knowing what choices are available to them, I'm going to play. We're going to play like crazy. We're going to be working on a really solid play game outside of any type of stressors, and we're going to introduce that play game within stressors. So now the dog knows all the choices that it can make within this environment. It knows how to have a solid play game. Now it can play in this environment to be even more confident, to have even more fun, and it knows all the choices within that environment. If you can master those two things, you'll never give another sit command. You'll never give another down command, another place command. You'll never put your dog in a crate again. Of course, like if you're leaving or something like that, but with a stressful situation like fireworks or guests coming in or whatever it is, you won't be doing any of that anymore, right? You will have alleviated the fear, and now you have a dog who's confident in the choices that are available to them. They know how to make decisions, right? So no different than if we're raising kids. I know people hate when you compare dogs and kids, but there are a lot of similarities with raising a dog and parenting a child. There's so much. And if you haven't done both, it might be hard for you to make that connection. But if you've done both, you can see the connection. When we raise our kids, we try to raise resilient kids, right? And we don't raise resilient kids by wrapping them up in bubble wrap and putting them in their room and not letting them do anything. We raise resilient kids by letting them get out there and make choices, right? I can tell you, Hope and I have probably built many a bike ramp and launched our bike off of it and crashed our faces into the pavement and learned which bike ramps work and which ones don't. Okay? I'm sure we figured that out many a time.
Structural issues.
Yes. And how we actually, utilize the bike on these makes a difference, okay? We learn through trial and error. Okay, I can't do this, but I can do this. I can't do this, I can do this, right? Kids that are given more of those opportunities to problem solve have significantly more successful adult lives. Now, I'm not talking about kids who have no supervision or guidance whatsoever, right? Sometimes they go in the wrong direction, but the kids who have the right amount of guidance and instruction and the right amount of freedom for trial and error and decision and problem solving do significantly better in life than kids who have had everything micromanaged for them. They're not going to figure out how to problem solve one little bit. Or kids who have been just thrown to the wolves, right? Those kids will probably be okay, but they're dragging a whole lot of baggage behind them, right? We want the dogs in the middle and the kids in the middle, right? So we've got to allow choices. We've got to allow problem solving. And that's where we come in as a coach, but we're not always a micromanager, if that makes sense. So if we can knock out those two things, you're going to have an extremely confident dog without ever once teaching any type of obedience command or jumping up on any kind of surface with cookies and stuff.
Miss Carrie, anything over there?
I do. How do I get a calm down with a young child in the house? Was a perfect dog prior, but will not calm down even when crated or in the place command. Same with people visiting. When it comes to people, he is wild on a leash and chokes himself out with excitement.
You are getting the doorbell. People visiting questions.
This is a lot. Very similar to what we've been talking about throughout pretty much the program. One thing that we need to do is we need to take our dog out and we really need to teach them how to respect a 15-foot long line, respect those boundaries, okay? But we're going to do this through long line work, which is going to teach our dog to ultimately learn to follow us in every scenario. When we're out walking and you're trying to drag me towards those people, it's not the time and place, right? We're out walking right now. When we've got guests coming over, you're not there to bum rush the door. They're coming in. We're going to let them get settled. We're going to do that. When we have a dog that is very nervous around kids, which is my own personal dog, he loves some kids, and then some kids, he just is very uncomfortable, okay? That's when I need to step up and I really need to show the leadership quality, meaning that I have worked with him on, following, meaning I've been out working on that long line. I've shown him what it looks like to maneuver around all of those different stressors while we're out kind of doing it in a walking scenario, okay? Then what we're going to do is we're going to bring the dog in and we're going to teach the dog to rest with us, meaning the kid as well. So you can do the long line work, get out there, teach that dog how to follow that long line. And then what we're going to do is we're going to start incorporating the kid into this. And we're going to go out and we're going to do long line work with the kid. And then we're going to come in and we're going to start learning how to rest together. Okay. If I don't have a dog that can rest outside of the crate with me in the presence of the stressor, I'm not going to have a dog that's going to rest inside the crate in the presence of that stressor, right? So I really want to coach the mental mindset of calmness with me present, being there coaching, meaning a really good scenario for this would to be bring the dog in, have them on their 15-foot long line. I wouldn't give them the 15 feet. I would shorten it up a little bit, sit in a chair, and just let the dog kind of maneuver around, have the kid kind of sit over a little bit. You can have the kid sit next to you, kind of however you want to set it up. But I would really start teaching this dog, start out with just you and the dog, get out working that long line, teaching the dog to follow, to respect, to respond to you. And that way, when you say, hey, I don't want you chasing the kid right now, or I don't want you being really excited about the kid because eventually friends are going to be there and things like that. I really want to start building that relationship that the dog trusts and respects what you've got to say because you know how to handle the scenario. Then I'm going to teach the dog how to rest in the presence of the kid's friends, right? And then eventually we can start developing further, but we've got to get this groundwork really laid down. The crate is beneficial for essentially becoming you when you can't be there to coach, but I can't rely on it in order to help my dog settle because right now the dog doesn't have the mental mindset for that. It needs to be shown how to do it outside of the crate. So I would check out our subscription page. I would really focus heavily on the drive section. We have a lot of different videos in there, socialization with kids, socialization, different games and things like that. But right now we have to work on that long line work. We have to work on teaching that dog how to rest and learn how to decompress in the presence of you, the kid, your guests, whoever lives in the household, right? And then we can grow it from there. So institute.methodk9.com, and I would click on the subscription page. I would really
Definitely screenshotting that face.
and I would really, do you know how many screenshots of my face they have? I would really check out that drives
Not that
work.
one.
I would also really look into Blue's case study. And the reason that I say this is Stephanie focuses a lot with Blue and her daughter Leia. So it's going to give you a really solid foundation for showing the socialization portion, the resting together, and how to develop a relationship between your dog and your kid. Because it kind of sounds like the dog's a little bit nervous about the energy from the kid. And then eventually you're going to have kids friends and things like that. So the subscription page would really, really help with this. Okay.
All right, there's two over here, Carrie, that I'm going to address right now. Let's pull this one up. So this is a continuation of the one earlier. So someone was asking, you know, how do I know if I should sign my dog up for a board and train or if I should sign up for private sessions? And it's really about what's going to give you as an owner the most powerhouse of education. So our board and train program is extremely extensive, but now you're talking about becoming a trainer, right? Which is really what every dog owner should aim to be. And here's a wild thing. We run sales on our certification programs fairly often. We have a 60% off sale off our master certification. That's levels 1, 2, 3, and 4. It's the master bundles, levels 1, 2, 3, and 4. You could become a master certified trainer with that 60% off coupon for half the price of our board and train program. You could become a master certified trainer for half the price of our board and train program. So ask yourself, do you want to be able to train every dog that comes into your life from here on out, including the dog that you have now? Or do you want that one dog trained by a professional trainer, right? So it's something to really take into consideration. Even if you didn't get the 60% off sale and you got the 50% off sale, it's still close to half off of our board and train programs because we typically have a dog do an 8-week board and train. So that's something to really keep in mind for anybody out there that's looking at private sessions, group classes. Private sessions for us range from $200 to $350. You know, if you're scheduling 10 of those, you could become a master certified trainer under that, almost a master certified trainer under all of that, rather than just 10 one-hour sessions where you're working with your dog and your dog alone, right? So there's a huge, huge value to that. And the levels 1 through 3 are available completely online. It's only the master certification, the level 4, that you actually have to come to us in person for. So I would really deep consider that for this upcoming sale. Like I said, it's going to start on Wednesday with the 60% off for the bundle, the master certification bundle. And then for the full week after that, it's 50% off of all of the certification courses for a week. So look into that. And then that's also going to bring me into one of my students right here. Anna, one thing that I want to point out to you, you being a student of the Method Canine Institute, you never have to wait to ask a question on like a social media live. Email us right away. Jump in on the live monthly coaching that we do for the students, right? Make sure you ask your questions directly to us right away. We will absolutely get back to you with all the information that you need. So you never have to wait for anything like this if you are a student of ours. But to answer your questions, you recently started the level 1 certification course. Any tips or advice for when it's time for me to work on my video submissions? First and foremost, you have to finish all of the videos. You have to finish watching all of the videos. You have to finish taking all of the written testing. At that point in time, I would go back and rewatch all of the videos that didn't quite make the most sense to you. Then I would start applying it to a few different dogs, right? Really getting your skills down, getting very comfortable with these skills in the level 1, getting time to practice. And then I want you to choose a dog that you're going to pick for filming. You're going to stop training with that dog when they reach about 60 to 75% trained. Do not train that dog any further. If you have a couple other dogs you want to train all the way to the end, good, practice all of that. But your filming dog should be around 60 to 75% trained with the material that we've provided for you. That's the dog that we want you to film for your video submissions, because we don't want to see an absolutely perfect dog. If the dog is completely flawless, we honestly might make you resubmit, okay? Because we're judging your skills, not the dog's skills. So part of your skills are coaching when the dog is struggling, or coaching when the dog is confused, or coaching when the dog makes mistakes, right? If the dog is not making any more mistakes, has no confusion, isn't struggling at all, we don't get to see your skills as a trainer necessarily. So save that one specific dog for about 60 to 75% trained. You want a dog that has food drive. You want a dog that has some relationship with you. You want a dog that has good leash skills to a certain point, has good understanding of markers to a certain point, right? When you've got all that ironed out and you feel confident, that's when you will film your video submissions and make your first submission, okay? If you have further questions on that, feel free to reach out to us at any time. info@methodcanineinstitute.com. We'll get back to you right away. Or you can hop onto the live monthly coaching with the level 1s. Carrie will send out an email every single month. If you're not getting those emails, check your spam folder. She'll send an email out every single month with the invite to that, and you can just click on the link and join when the day and time arrives. If you ever cannot join the live, it's while you're working or you're unable to make it, you can submit all of your questions in advance by emailing them to the same email address, and I will answer them on the live, okay? So you don't ever have to wait for something like this, a social media live, okay? All right,
JC.
do we need to go back?
Just right here.
No, we did this muzzle conditioning one.
It's just saying that it's I've been working on muzzle conditioning, and it's cute because she thinks it's a treat dispenser. If it's on the side table, she will go over.
Oh, that's darling. So cute. Okay, do you want to do that one then?
Yeah.
Okay.
JC says, how old is too old to get an 8-week-old puppy? I really wanted to do this one. A large breed mutt. I have a family member that just got a new baby and she is 74.
Yikes.
I also do this.
Yikes.
I am very worried, just want to help her in the best way for both of them. So when we have private sessions come in and Carrie tells me that it is an older person, I always ask her, what kind of dog is it? And she says, it's a Cane Corso. And I'm like, oh no. Anyway, so it's okay. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. It's just about making sure that we're setting each one of them. And I'm happy that you're willing to help out with the pup. So it is just about really getting them, I would say as relational with the owner as possible, meaning that we want just a well-rounded dog, a nice productive member of society is what I like to call it. My dog is a productive member of society. So one thing that I would suggest is really starting the training aspect of it. And I'm not talking about just obedience. I'm talking about really creating clear communication so your dog understands exactly, creating an awesome relationship so that way we don't have to worry about pulling on the leash, things like that. So on our website, I would suggest getting into the basic foundation, really getting those base layers of communication, languages, knowing exactly what we're working toward with our dog. And then we can start developing the training program from there. We can get into the intermediate courses, which is where we talk about taking the dog into public and off-leash things. So I would really suggest doing that. We also have a puppy jumpstart course, which is a really awesome course to start here. It would go over crate training. It would go over potty training. It would go over anything and everything that is necessary for bringing the puppy home. We want to work on that confidence. We want to work on communication, play. We want to work on all of those different things, because in those early stages, that's where that dog's really going to be learning a lot of different things, right? So we could start out at the puppy course and then work all the way up. And it's going to be really beneficial to kind of essentially start that foundation for what you're looking for, which is, a larger dog being responsive and having a really awesome relationship with someone that's a little bit older. My mom is 71 years old, 72 years old. Sorry, Mom, you're 72. And
She's like, what? I'm 55.
I am not.
Wait a minute. What is, it's the 41st anniversary of her 29th birthday.
So it would be exactly the same thing that I would do if my mom came to me and said, hey, I want to get this dog. Fine. I really honestly don't care what the dog is. I am going to look at the energy level. I am going to look at all of that. However, if we've already got the puppy, I would start out that puppy course and then work your way up. Again, we can find that at methodcanine. You can say it. I can't remember.
Institute.methodcanine.com.
.com.
She's got that part.
Remember how many times we said that when we did that?
Yes, and I still can't get it.
Oh my goodness.
I know. I'm
We'll
sorry.
just let you say the .com part.
.com.
Can we jump over to Instagram real quick?
Yeah, Stephanie wants to.
Best exercises for my wolf husky. Very well trained with off-leash, heel, and other commands, but struggles with the first 30 minutes when he gets excited or when we come home. He gets the crazy eyes and stressed hands, and I love slow and will drop the task entirely if we can't get out the door calmly.
Yeah, you got to get a leash back on this dog. So when you first get home, ideally the dog should be in a crate, have the leash on top of the crate. It could be a long line. First thing you do, take the dog out of the crate, put the dog on the leash, start coaching them, right? If he wants to get panicked, if he wants to get the zoomies, want to use, just coach. Use your leash. Say, nope, don't do that. Do this. 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 And the reason I say a long line is because it's going to allow the dog to make more choices. A short leash is going to take choices away. We don't want that. It might even make the situation worse. A longer line, give the dog some space. Nope, not going to jump all over me. 4 feet on the floor. Good. But I got to panic. I got to panic. No. Dog settles. Good. Right? Dog wants to follow you and scratch all up you. No. Good. Right? Dog's going to be like, no. Good. Right? Using that leash to coach and then giving the dog the freedom back again. Coaching. And this needs to be a consistent habit anytime that the dog is going to a higher state of arousal. So if that's going to come every time you come home, every time the guest comes in, every time, feeding time comes around, anytime that you first let them out of the crate, any of those issues, leash has to go on. Coach, do this, don't do this, 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 every single time. And before you know it, it'll become a habit. We do this with our kids. Again, I know people hate when dogs or kids are, put into the same sentence, but when you're a parent, you're going to see it. Like dogs and kids are so similar. We do it with our kids. We don't do it as much with our dogs, right? My kid comes home from school and she drops literally everything she owns at the top of the stairs. Nope. Pick up all of that and go put that in your room, please.
Nope.
She picks it up. She does it. Good. Thank you. That's the appropriate thing. Then she comes downstairs and she's got a stack of cookies this big and she walks with her, her headphones in. She got this. No, right? We are not doing that right now. You're going to eat dinner first. She puts them back. Good, right? She blasts the TV with some YouTube show. No. Okay. We're going to do this instead, right? We're going to do homework first. Good. Okay. We do this every single day. Every single day. Some days it goes smoothly, other days not so smoothly, but the things that we've been ingraining since the very beginning are pretty darn smooth. The newer things that we've introduced, they're going to take time, right? Okay, so do the same thing with your dog. You can take patience. We love our children. My kid's 14. We love teenagers. We loves them.
I
Yeah.
survived four boys.
See?
I survived it.
Okay, consistency and really teaching what choices are available to them, really teaching them what happens after each choice, right? We gave the example, Hope and I learned very quickly, when you build your bike ramp incorrectly and your face hits the pavement, you learn very quickly that that is the incorrect design, right? You make adjustments very quickly.
Structural.
So when kids start learning what gets them what they're looking for, what doesn't get them what they're looking for, all of that sort of stuff, same thing with dogs, they start falling in line with the behaviors that are most advantageous. And so we're going to make the behaviors that we like be the most advantageous, right? And that's going to take a lot of coaching. The leash is the best bet. Physical language like the leash. You pulling something up over here?
If a dog is nervous but still curious about people, can you train the fear out?
Oh, yes. That's ideal dog. Ideal. Oh, that's the best dog. Sorry, I'm excited. That's a good,
As long as the curiosity is still there, yes.
When
When
we
the
lose the
curiosity
curiosity,
goes away,
it's
then,
scary.
then yes,
a lot more
can we
work.
still help them? Yes. Is it a lot harder? Absolutely. But when the curiosity is there, again, I think I said it kind of a little bit earlier in the show. We want to reward the natural curiosity, but we don't want to let the dog get overwhelmed, right? So in the natural curiosity stage, when that dog says, man, I'm
Very
kind of
casual.
nervous about the people,
Very
but
casual.
I want to go see them, great. I'm going to reward that. Good job, good job, good job. When the dog starts to get towards the person and you can kind of see it, they're kind of stepping back a little bit, call them out. Show them how to move away. Dogs are not great problem solvers. And a lot of times when they get in close proximity to a stressor, they feel trapped. They don't necessarily know that they can walk away. Some dogs, they're great. They just automatically know it. I'm done with you. I'm off, right? Murphy is not that dog. Murphy gets over to a person and he wants to sniff them. But if it remains too long, he starts getting all nervous. Hey, let's go. We don't need to do that, right? So coach it. Reward the natural curiosity by allowing them. And then when you see them starting to get a little overwhelmed, maybe their eyes get bigger, maybe they kind of start looking up at the person like, oh God, call them out. Call them out. Hey, let's go. Let's go. Good job. Good job. And then lather, rinse, repeat. I finally said it right. Lather, rinse, repeat. Keep doing that in all scenarios. And one really awesome thing, a tip, just have your people be really neutral. Don't have them talking to the dog, looking at the dog. Just have them be very neutral, right? Even when it comes to the petting portion. If your guest is there, they've done nothing but just ignore the dog completely, and now the dog's really comfortable about going toward the guest, then we can have the dog that's up there sniffing, and maybe the guest can kind of just take their hand underneath the dog's chin and give like a little scratch. 2 seconds, and then they stop petting. If the dog does not re-engage with them, meaning that the dog kind of like says, hey, I kind of liked that, right? Like you can kind of scratch me a little bit. We're not going to pet again, right? And actually as the handler, I'm going to see that the dog's getting overwhelmed and I'm going to call that dog out, okay? So yes, reward that natural curiosity, but coach it because the chances of the dog getting very overwhelmed very quickly, they're very high, okay? So you can absolutely help this dog get past this fear.
Okay, we're going to go to Instagram.
Okay.
Instagramicus.
Are you ready?
Yes, Instagram.
Chat GPT has convinced my friend his dog needs psychopharmaceutical treatment instead of behavioral training. 1, how to know what the dog needs. 2, how to make a case for training versus heavy medications.
Yeah. So most dogs, 99% of dogs don't ever need any type of pharmaceutical help in any capacity. The issue comes when we do not prepare our dogs to live in a human world alongside us. Okay. And people think, that, you hear that, oh, dogs are so much easier than kids. Yeah, that's because you're not actually coaching your dog. You're not actually teaching your dog. You're not actually giving them the education that they need. Okay. So you bring them home, you take them to a little class, you teach them to walk a little bit on leash. You teach them how to shake and sit pretty and sit, and that's about it. And then you leave it at that, and you're like, my dog knows what to do, right? My dog's good. They're golden. Does your dog know how to handle guests coming over? Well, no, we just put them in a crate. Okay, so you didn't teach them that life skill. Does your dog know how to handle people or other dogs on the other end of the fence line? Well, no, we just hit them with an e-collar, or we just yell out the window, or we don't let them go out in the backyard and potty. We potty them in the front yard. Okay, then that's a life skill you didn't teach. Is your dog reactive on leash? Yeah, but we just walk really early in the morning. Okay, then you bypass that. That's a life skill you didn't teach, right? Does your dog have a solid play game, exercise outlet? Well, no, they're too strong. They're ripping my arms off. Okay, then that's a lifestyle. That is a really important aspect of them that you didn't teach, that you didn't coach them through. You didn't work with them on that. You didn't teach them how to play in a way that they could be successful, right? Same thing with, well, they can't get along with other dogs. But did you teach them? Well, no, they're aggressive. Like, how could I teach them to get along? You coach them, you teach them, right? Those are the life lessons that are necessary, right? You work with all that. Well, my dog is, they're going to eat the UPS man, or they're going to, they're so terrified of fireworks and thunderstorms. Okay. Did you teach them how to not be? Did you coach them through that? Did you give them that life skill? Well, no. Okay. So if my kid feels anxious during their first job interview, because I didn't help them write their resume, I didn't teach them anything about it, I didn't coach them on how to answer questions, I didn't coach them on how to look presentable, I didn't coach them on any of that, and they feel anxious, and they came home and they're like, yeah, man, I was really nervous, I was really stressed out, I said some of the dumbest things. Do you think my response as a parent would be, oh, let's get you on some meds, let's numb you up, let's make sure that you don't feel that anymore? Or should I say, oh, snap, me as a parent did not prepare my kid for a job interview? Yeah, that's the right response. I did not prepare my kid for a job interview. I did not prepare my kid for their first date. I did not prepare my kid, I raise a 14-year-old daughter. One thing that we talk about is when you walk out of the store and you're walking to your car, you pay attention to your surroundings. Your phone's not in your hand, right? When you're out in public, you don't have headphones in, you don't have your phone up there, you don't have videos playing out, you pay attention to your surroundings. You're a 14-year-old girl, you pay attention to what goes on. I prepare her for that. So that when, something spooks her or really scares her, or something bad happens and she comes home and she's traumatized because of it and she's stressed because of it, I don't want to say, well, let's get you some meds, honey. Let's get you some. No, my obligation as a parent is to prepare her for it, to coach her through it, right? So people are way too quick to jump the medication route, and all the medication route is going to do is numb your dog. So they feel less, they react to less, they respond to less, they're aware of less, but we didn't fix the issue. We didn't coach, we didn't create a relationship, we didn't work them through it, we didn't help them become more successful. We said, I just don't want to deal with it, so I'm going to numb you up, and then I'm going to send you out there unprepared again. And hopefully you don't feel the same way that you felt before, okay? We can do so much better for our anxious dogs, our reactive dogs, our fearful dogs, our aggressive dogs, right? I'm the kind of person that says, if I'm noticing an issue, I want to get down in the trenches with my dog, and I want to claw through those trenches every step of the way until I can get them out of it. I want them to know that I'm absolutely right there. We're going to work through this piece by piece. I'm going to coach you every single step of the way until you can stand on your own 4 feet and be successful. That's the kind of owner that I am. I am not the kind of owner that's willing to numb my dog to all of the amazing things that the world has to offer. Because when you numb them from the bad stuff, you numb them from the good stuff too, right? And you lose the spark that your dog had. So no, I'm not a fan of behavioral drugs by any means. If your dog has true neurological issues and has been diagnosed with true neurological issues and you have tests to prove it, okay, we can start talking about different things going down that path. But if your dog is just struggling in a world that wasn't really designed for them, right? Gunshots and car rides and, all of this stuff that we put them through, that's an us problem. And we can definitely work them through that.
Kangaroos.
Can I say something to that as like a pet owner? Because
Yes.
I'm not one of the trainers. Before I even knew Method Canine, I have a behavioral dog. And the first response was drugs from the vet, and we didn't know any better. And so we did, and his behaviors actually got worse. He was scarier. And so we took him off of it and went down a slew of other options, which ultimately was put your dog down. He's behavioral, but he's still with us. We didn't put him down. He's super expensive because he has seizures now, but we still have him. But I think that it's very valuable, the information that Stephanie's giving you, because a lot of places you're not going to hear that, and you're not going to know what you're doing to your dog because you did what you thought you were supposed to do. That information, I wish I had known years ago about that, because things might have been a little bit different with actually 2 of our dogs. We had medicated.
ChatGPT. It tells us everything. Rocky Mountain Doberman says, "Hi, ladies. We as people or animals are never too old to learn." I don't know, Carrie, are you too old to learn? Okay.
She said it.
On to the next one.
I'm smart. I know.
I have a person in between me.
I don't know hope.
Here we go.
I also didn't say that. I just work here. I just drinking my tea. I'm not even spilling my tea. I'm just
Yeah,
drinking
you
it.
better keep that tea. On to the next one. Brittany, I just came across a subscription video on teaching leash pressure without any verbal cues like let's go and good. I think you were working with Rita. I started the long line work 2+ weeks ago, implementing the let's go cue and giving a nope when the dog doesn't want to follow. I feel like I missed the step of teaching leash pressure communication since I started the verbal first. Should I backtrack? Hopefully that makes sense. One, there's absolutely nothing wrong with going back and teaching the dog that leash pressure. I think it's very valuable, because when we have a dog that knows how to follow leash pressure, as opposed to fighting against it, we're already taking a huge piece out of the puzzle for the dog, okay? The verbal cue also, a lot of times, kind of, especially when we've paired it with something so often, a lot of times we miss that component, because when we say let's go and we start moving our body, a lot of dogs kind of already start following, right? So we didn't actually get to teach them that leash pressure, following that leash pressure, learning how to shut the pressure off by following us, right? So nothing wrong with going back, working it without that verbal cue. Kind of let that dog go get distracted and start working that leash pressure. Every time you change direction, you start that pressure, dogs move with you. Good. You can still use your good marker. I just wouldn't add that verbal cue until that dog is real fluent with following you. Then we could start implementing that verbal cue. And now you have a dog that knows how to follow leash pressure and how to follow the verbal cue, and you're not missing out on that really crucial part to the puzzle. Okay.
You're saying that to who?
I don't know.
I don't know. Your sister's on. She says hi, sister, but then,
AKA Hope.
but she also says I'm telling mom.
Oh no, it's her
you
what
lost
is
it.
29th anniversary
You
birthday,
lost
whatever. Don't be telling mom nothing.
Good.
You guys always tell on me.
We have a quick question over here that it's probably a quick answer. Do you guys offer phone sessions or anything similar? I know I've seen some trainers offer to pay for for an hour call type thing.
Yeah, we offer private sessions. So you can do Zoom sessions with us. If you're not local, you can come in and do sessions with us one-on-one. If you prefer a phone call, we can do that. A Zoom call is a little bit better though, because we're very handsy and we give lots of demonstrations. So what we like to
Have you not told?
yeah, we're very handsy. So we like to bring our leashes out and really show proper technique to you. Sometimes we bring a dog out and give examples. Sometimes we use each other as dogs and give examples. Sometimes the visual can be very valuable as opposed to just a phone call where I'm like, okay, well, you're going to put both hands on the leash and you're going to hold it like so, and you're going to move it like so. It can be hard to give a clear understanding of that. So yes, we offer all of that. You go to our website, methodcanine.com, scroll all the way down to the bottom where it says contact us, and then you will be able to fill out a contact form and click on the private session. See how we make handsy? Jazz hands.
I want to answer this one just because I know we're coming to the end. You have a 14-month-old Doberman, well-behaved at home other than occasionally picking at my 8-year-old Dane, but will stop when I tell her she is focused in the conformation ring. However, when she's around a group of dogs, all bets are off and she is way too aroused. She plays with dogs appropriately. She lives with senior dogs. We do have puppies that come over and stay with us. She listens when it's just a puppy or two. You're asking if in-person obedience class would be a good idea for her to work through this, or just kind of move her through it. No. Obedience is not the answer, okay? One thing that we need to teach this particular dog is that, here's my hands again. One thing that we need to teach this particular dog is that just because other dogs are present doesn't mean that they're always on the table, right? My own personal dog's exactly the same way. As soon as he sees another dog, if that dog even has the potential of play, he's on. It doesn't matter what we're doing. He's like, man, we're going, right? He's whining, he's wanting to go. One thing that we need to teach this dog is time and place. Okay. So a very awesome way to do this is I would actually get out and work on some long line work with this dog. You could do it outside of dog parks. You could do it even when the puppies are around. You could do it when the old dogs are around, but we're actually going to stop this dog from currently playing with dogs until we give a release cue that tells the dog that you can go do this. Okay. So I would actually be working with this dog on neutrality around other dogs. You're not going to get to play with any dogs right now until you can be neutral. Then when you're neutral to them, following me, so get out and work on that long line work, really teaching the boundary with the long line, teaching the dog how to follow with you, move with you, how to respond to you as the handler. Once we have that neutral mindset, then we can say, cool, you can go play now. And the dog's going to look at you like, what? You really worked on all this? And now you're telling me I can? Yes, because as the handler, I'm calling time and place. It isn't the presence of the puppies. It isn't the presence of the old dogs. It isn't the presence of the dogs in the ring or at the place that you're training at. It is me giving you that option, that availability, right? It comes through me. It's relational, but we have to get the neutral mindset first, or we're never going to be able to achieve time and place for this dog, right? So that way you take the dog out to a park and there's a bunch of dogs playing and you say, hey, not right now is not the time. Let's go this way. The dog goes, cool, we've already worked on this. I'm neutral around dogs until you tell me that we can go play. And we do that regularly, right? Murph can hang out in a big group of dogs, but if I don't tell him that it's the time and place to play with the dogs because maybe I don't know them and it could be dangerous, he just says, oh, okay, fine. I guess we're not going right now, right? But then eventually, if we get in a group of dogs that I know he'll interact with well, I can give that cue, whatever your cue is, we use yes. I tell Murph, yes, you can go play with that dog. Boom, he's on, right? He's ready to go. So it really does come through me, and we use that relationship because I don't want him to feel like all dogs are on the table, because some dogs he's not going to get along with, okay? So really good way of doing that is creating that neutral mindset.
Okay, so probably the last thing we're going to be able to
Rocky Mountain Dobermans.
address here. So it's very tempting to purchase all the classes for 60% off. Even though I'm not interested in becoming a trainer for the public, I always enjoy learning so that I can better serve my pack of 23 Dobermans. So we were talking before.
23 Dobermans.
Our certification courses, especially when you get them 50% off, if you were to buy the master bundle, which is levels 1, 2, 3, and 4, all of them, you would pay half the price of our board and train program. And truthfully, if you signed up for 10 private sessions with us, 12 private sessions with us, you would pay the same to become a master certified trainer, which means that you can not only help the dogs that you have currently, but any dogs in the future. So if you didn't even want to become a professional trainer, you'd actually be saving money to become significantly better at dog training than you could with a board and train or with a private session.
That's the statement.
Yeah, so we're doing a 60% off sale on Wednesday, April 1st. Okay, you're gonna watch out for the coupon code. Actually, what is the coupon code? It's not active yet.
Wow.
It's gotcha. 2026, and you'll understand that.
This is great.
You'll understand that when you see the videos that we have coming out. Gotcha 2026, GOTCHA 2026, all one word, all caps. You can use that to get 60% off, but it's only for the master certification bundle. So levels 1, 2, 3, and 4, you're actually going to save $7,300 by utilizing that. and you're getting the master certification for $4,900, which is less. Our 8-week board and train is 85 or 7,500.
Yeah.
$7,500 for our 8-week board and train. Like it's just a screaming deal. Take advantage of it. And we have payment plans and a million other things that we can offer people. So take advantage of it, but it's only on Wednesday from midnight to midnight. That's it. But then the week after that, they'll be 50% off, but you won't get 60% off. And the 50% off won't just be for the certifications. It'll be for the online courses and the subscription page as well. So if we've recommended those to you tonight, check them out. The sale's coming up Wednesday for 60% off, and then Thursday through Thursday for 50% off. Take advantage of all of that.
JC says, if she croaks, the 74-year-old,
Oh,
if she
no.
croaks, I will probably get the dog. Thank you.
Oh, man.
Oh,
Be ready
boy.
for it. Be ready for it.
Be a part of that dog's
Big-
life, okay?
Big dogs eat a lot and they poop a lot. Have fun. Okay, my friends, thank you all for joining. If you need additional help, go check out our website, institute.methodcanine.com. We got sales coming up, and our whole new website will be live April 1st. Everything going well. Praying that everything goes well. Okay, and take care, everybody. God bless.